Hello there, a warm welcome to tonight's edition of New Vision TV News. My name is Barbara Nyamwiza. Today is Monday, the 16th day of December 2019. We're just days away from Christmas, and we must say happy holidays to every one of you that follows us always here on the bulletin. Before we can kickstart our bulletin tonight, we'd like to take you through our lead stories. In news around Uganda, 9 Panga welding suspects arrested. Stop demonizing people with albinism, Minister Sarah Opendi says. From Bujiri district, 150 families left displaced. In our special report, we look at the ministers who missed out on the newly reshuffled cabinet. Once again, you're very welcome to the program. My name is Barbara Nyamwiza. New Vision TV comes to you live on air. That is on Urban TV every 9 p.m. and online, of course, on our social media platforms. That is at the New Vision on Facebook and our website, www.newvision.co.ug. We start our bulletin with news around Uganda and start with Eastern Uganda in Teso, where farmers from the Eastern region have asked government to conduct thorough research on the deadly DODDER parasite to address its spread, the effects and its environmental impact since it has exceeded economic threshold in the region. We bring you the details.
This comes after a number of gardens have been attacked by the parasites, that's affecting both the crops and the quality of the yields, posing a big threat on farmers since it attacks any crop in the garden. The DODDER parasitic plant, scientifically known as cascuta, is a kind of more than 200 species of obligate coercive area parasitic plants in the morning glory family. It consists mainly of leafless, yellow or orange, hairless twinning stems and tendrils bearing minute scales in the place of leaves. The farmer representative expressed their concern during a one-day validation meeting on the DODDER plant research report that was released by Eastern Archdiocesan Development Network held at Benedictine Retreat Center in Tororo Municipality last week. The report on the prevalence and control of DODDER parasitic plant in eastern Uganda was conducted in these selected districts of Iganga, Patricia, Namutumba, Tororo, Manafwa, Mbale, Serere and Bujiri. Presenting the report findings, Rose Amono Ochiti said 83.1% of the respondents said DODDER parasitic plant is a threat to food security by stunting crop growth and reducing productivity yields of the host plants. It is confirmed to be affecting maize, cassava, sorghum, coffee, fruit trees like mangoes, among others.
That's Faustino Deke coming to us live from Teso, and we do thank you for the report, and Lynn, of course, for the voiceover. We still regard you to the eastern part of this country, where now we head to Toro, and the new State Minister for Mineral Development, Sarah Acheng Opendi, has cautioned the general public to stop demonizing people that live with albinism and looking at them as a source of wealth. Let's bring you the details.
Opendi said people with albinism need protection like any other human being and should not be discriminated against their rights, showing not to be violated by those who intend to hurt them in any way through misconception that their body parts are full of riches. During the closure of the medical health camp for vulnerable children ministries, Uganda at Apokol village, Marikit, sub-county Tororo district, Opendi said there are people who believe that when you pick hair or any other body parts from albinos, you become rich. We must join hands to fight this kind of misconception because albinism is hereditary and does not have anything to do with riches. If it's so, why then are some of the parents of the albinos very poor to support themselves? Brian Mukalazi, the ECM Uganda Country Director, said the main challenge affecting the albinos is skin cancer and eyesight caused by scorching sunshine, which has led to reduction of their lifespan.
That's news from Tororo. Now we head to Wakiso District, and the District Resident Commissioner there, Rose Chidabida, has directed the District Community Development Officer, John Chejusa, to organize women living with HIV/AIDS into groups so that they can be able to benefit from government programs. Let's see the details.
According to Turyahebwa, such government funds do help much more people, saying they need support for them to earn a living. She made the remarks during the commemoration of the World AIDS Day held at St. Bruno Catholic Church, Kasenge, Wakiso district. During the function, women living with HIV/AIDS exhibited many things, including art craft products, which excited Turyahebwa. The RDC hailed the NGOs that had dealt with the HIV problem in the district, saying they have encouraged the affected people to publicly announce their HIV status, hence reducing new infections. Turyahebwa asked NGOs in the fight against HIV/AIDS in the district to discourage people with HIV from using drugs like marijuana, saying their bodies are already weak. People with HIV/AIDS are bedridden because they refuse to take drugs and should as well be helped by taking them to health centers so they can regain their lives. Wakiso Acting District Health Officer Matthias Lugolobi revealed that the district has been seriously hit by HIV/AIDS, calling for serious interventions. According to Lugolobi, 7.3% of the population has HIV/AIDS in the district, which is higher than the national figure at 6.8. He pointed out that Wakiso has very many people beyond the expected number, adding that HIV/AIDS drugs is always not enough for them. The district finds it challenging to effectively deal with the virus because when some people realize they have fallen victims of HIV/AIDS, they disappear from health workers. According to Lugolobi, such people do not use the drugs and they keep on creating new infections. According to Lugolobi, teenage pregnancies and the HIV rate is so high among young girls in the district. He further called upon the government to double the effort of increasing income-generating projects for communities, saying it would stop young girls from being taken by small gifts given to them by men. Betty Nalima, the district deputy chairperson, called upon parents to control the movements of their children, adding that HIV/AIDS will not stop if parents fail to play their roles. The assistant cow, Marion Mabirizi, emphasized the importance of fighting poverty in families, saying it enables people with HIV/AIDS to get money for transporting them to health centers for treatment. She pledged that all departments at the district are going to have programs of fighting HIV/AIDS in their activities.
Still watching New Vision TV news around Uganda, and from Wakiso we're now coming back to the town here, the main city of Kampala, where the police force has been able to arrest 9 Panga welding men who have been terrorizing the city and its suburbs. The police identify the suspects as Medi Sewankambo, Mohamed Kalali, Dennis Sechanzi, and the others, as we see in our report. Police have arrested 9 Panga welding men who have been terrorizing the city and surrounding suburbs. The police identified the suspects as Medi Sewankambo, Mohamed Kalali, Dennis Sechanzi, Amidu Senyonjo, also known as Munno Munno, Rogers Tumsime, also known as Mugume Osbat, Marichelle Kwizera, Sharif Mawanda, John Paul Sendagire, and Kasim Kalumba. According to police, Sewankambo, Senyonjo, Kwizera, and Tumsime confessed to the said robberies and said their leader was Farouk Sejemba, who was shot dead in Chitezi, Kampala, while robbing. Police flying squad, in collaboration with their counterparts from the Kampala Metropolitan North and South, arrested the suspects over the weekend and recovered exhibits such as pangas, knives, house-breaking gears, and television sets. Addressing the press at the police headquarters in Naguru yesterday, police spokesperson Fred Enanga said the suspects have been terrorizing residents in Kawempe, Kasangati, Mukono, Nsanji, and Ribega. Enanga said the operation was conducted to cap down the new form of criminality involving Panga welding thugs that had cropped up in the city. The law enforcement body conducted the operation in order to enable the public to go through the festive season safely, he said. Enanga said the suspects targeted residential houses and premises with wall fences and robbed their valuables, including motor vehicles, televisions, music systems, money, and other electronic items. Police says the suspects met one another at Luzira prison over similar charges of aggravated robberies, and they were released by the High Court in May 2019 and have continued from where they had stopped. Meanwhile, police is still hunting for Hussein Bienda and Edgar Watson, who was the CEO of FUFA, the Uganda football body, and are still on the run. Enanga said the officers in charge of the police stations in those areas have been called to visit the suspects' records and come up with criminal register books, which is the CRB of the cases, where some of them have recorded the charge and caution statements. In a charge and caution statement, a detective reads to the suspect the charges they intend to prefer against him, and the suspect is asked whether he accepts the statement or not. It also means that the detectives have made up their minds to charge the suspect or suspects with the offense or offenses disclosed in the investigations. A 2018 report from the Uganda Police Force states that there was a decrease in the overall volume of crime by 5.2% from 2017. However, there was an increase in homicide, sex-related crime, break-ins, robbery, narcotic cases, and political or media crimes. Let's head to northern Uganda now, to the Lango sub-region, where President Turyahebwa Museveni has applauded the people in the area for working hard to diminish the levels of poverty in their area. We have the details.
Museveni, in his message delivered on his behalf by outgoing Lands Minister Betty Amongi Ngom, that said he is grateful to the people of Lango for properly utilizing the government programs after the war to reduce on poverty. Recently, Minister of Northern Uganda said statistics of 2012-2013 indicate poverty in Lango sub-region reduced from 35% to 17%, actually from 35 to 34%, and West Nile from 47% to 27%. Betty Amongi was last week moved from the Lands Ministry to the Ministry of Kampala City. In the recent cabinet reshuffle, was representing President Museveni as chief guest during the consecration and enthronement of Julius Caesar Nina Otim as second bishop of West Lango Diocese. President Museveni said the government is committed to supporting the church because he knows the role the church is doing as shaping society in entrenching morality, and will continue to partner with the church in delivering social services to the people of Uganda. Amongi said the president also told her to request the church to support his initiative of reconciliation and building consensus in bringing Uganda to move together irrespective of differences but focus on development. The ceremony at St. Peter's Cathedral, Duku in Kwanya district was officiated by Archbishop Stanley Tagali and attended by a number of bishops and the newly elected Archbishop Samuel Stephen Kazimba. The Right Reverend Julius Caesar Nina succeeds Right Reverend Alfred Achwar Okodi as the second bishop West Lango Diocese.
Now, as we wrap up news around Uganda tonight, we head back to the eastern district of Bujiri, where a total number of 150 families in Luemba and Buluguyi sub-counties in Bujiri district have been left homeless after their houses were blown down during a heavy rain downpour. Let's have the details.
The rains that lasted for over 5 hours, characterized by hailstones, strong winds, destroyed over 300 acres of maize, banana plantations, among others. The affected families have been forced to take shelter in the neighboring mosques, churches, and schools. According to the local Council 1 chairman, Bugeso Village, Sunday Owori, 2 churches belonging to the born-again faithful were also blown down during the heavy rain downpour. Ori said residents are likely to be hit by famine since the biggest population in the area entirely relies on farming in order to earn a living. Tony Mugoya, one of the affected farmers, said he had expected to reap 40 bags of maize from his 5-acre piece of land, but now everything has been destroyed. Mugoya said he'd been selling most of the produce from his gardens in order to pay tuition for 3 children. The local Council 3 chairman, Iwemba Hamza Waiswa, said the affected families are in urgent need of food, shelter, and clothing. The most affected villages are Bugeso, Chigulu, Muwayo, Siabondo, and Kimira in Bujiri district.
This brings us to the end of our break, and now we're going to do a commercial one. When we return, we bring you more news on New Vision TV. Do stay here. Glad to see you with us here on New Vision TV tonight, and it's time for a special report where we look at after a long wait. President Turyahebwa Museveni on Saturday made a reshuffle in his over 70 ministers cabinet list, which saw up to 7 ministers dropped and some new entrants assembled in. Our New Vision TV special report tonight brings you a recount of those ministers that faced the axe.
All ministers are ministers, but some go beyond performing their official duties and do it in such style that we are bound to miss them under the new dockets following the weekend reshuffle. Let us pay tribute to the most interesting ones. Retired Major General Kahinda Otafide will surely be missed by the Ugandan media. Not that he's leaving cabinet, but his new East African Affairs docket is bound to keep him from the local controversies. What hasn't Otafire said and done? He can turn the most boring subject into an epically interesting subject. Leave matters of generals to generals is possibly his most memorable contribution to Ugandan speech and logic. We will miss the straight-talking general. Ida Nantaba will be greatly missed by the media. Who can forget the stroke of calling the president and putting him on speakerphone for the public gathering to hear? What about the high-speed case fleeing from a motorcyclist who ended up being shot dead by police far away from the scene? Nantaba's story are so hair-raising that politics will be different without her. Bye-bye, Ida. Mwesiga Rukutana will not be making many interpretations for the government now that is out of the Attorney General's chambers. In Ministry of Gender, he's a very well placed, though since he is the most honest Ugandan official who does not hide his polygamy. In fact, he is proud of it. But even if Rukutana goes quiet for the next 10 years, people will still remember his performance at the land probe, where he advised the land judge to appeal to God and also go and hang. Nice day, Mwesugwa.
But if you were to say bagende wa president bagende wa papa bagende mugure wa katonda tebinkwatako.
Saving the best for last, let us all raise and salute the one and only Alhaji Abdul Naduli. He has executed his portfolio, without portfolio, so memorably that he will be remembered forever. From his description of the fight against malaria and HIV, which have been small or smaller-ized, to his characteristic speech, tag of, "Are you aware?" Naduli will never be forgotten. Farewell, grand old man. On Saturday, President Yoweri Museveni made major changes in his cabinet ministers, which saw several new faces appointed to various positions in the cabinet. Jackson Kafuzi is a member of parliament for Chaka South in Chegegwa district, is a city lawyer who has been appointed the deputy attorney general and the minister of water and environment. Judith Nabakoba, the former police spokesperson at the level of commissioner before she became the Mityana District Women MP in 2016, and she will now become the Minister for Information, Communication and Technology. Hamson Obua Dennis is currently the MP of Ajuri County and has been appointed the State Minister for Sports, replacing Charles Bakabulindi. He's a sports enthusiast in Parliament, and he not only supports national sports teams, but also represents the Parliament in regional games. He is also currently serving as the captain of the Uganda Parliament football team. Beatrice Anywa, affectionately known as Mama Mavira, is the Member of Parliament representing the Kitgum municipality. She rose to prominence as a result of her environmental activism, where she led the Save Mavira Crusade in 2007 against a move to give away the part of Mavira forest, while her staunch member of the opposition, Forum for the Democratic Change Party. Robina Nabanja is a Kakumiro District Woman MP and a teacher by profession who holds a Master's of Arts in Development Studies and a Bachelor's of Democracy and Development Studies, both from Uganda Matters University. She was among the strong supporters of the lifting of the presidential age limit. Peter Ogwang, who replaces Ida Nantaba, is currently serving as the Member of Parliament representing Usu County in Katakwi District. Following his election in 2016, he was previously the Youth MP for the Eastern region from 2011 to 2016. He played a key role in the amendment of the presidential age limit. Monica Mukama has been appointed the Minister of State in charge of economic monitoring in the Office of the President, A newly created position, she previously served as the principal private secretary to the president, as well as the political assistant to the chairman of the NRM. She was also in charge of operations at the office of the chairman of the NRM during the 2016 general elections. Majezi Raphael, who rose to prominence as the mover of the age limit removal motion in Parliament, has been a member of Parliament in Igara County West in Bushenyi district since 2011. He's an economist by profession and has worked in different government departments as planner of Mukono district in 1992 to 1996. Currently, he is a chairperson committee on public service and local government, a member of Committee of Human Rights, also a member of the Business Committee in Parliament. Helen Adoa is currently the woman MP for Serere district on the NRM ticket since 2016 and is a member of the Committee on Health in Parliament. She is also a director of several schools: Namlyango Hillview Primary School, New York Primary School, Toto Adoa Primary School, Teso Primary School, Halician Primary School, Halician Foundation, and health facilities like Teso Healthcare. Story compiled by Nikki Shilingi, New Vision TV.
Thank you, Shilingi. We head back to Matters Business now with Lynn Comjasha.
In business tonight, oil deposits have sat beneath the shores of Lake Albert in western Uganda for millions of years. Since its discovery in 2006, plans to extract the oil, estimated at over 1 billion recoverable barrels, have repeatedly stumbled over disagreements between the government and oil companies. The latest was a tax dispute that threw the whole project into limbo, holding up the commencement of commercial production. In August this year, the companies and the government could still not agree how the $900 million deal should be taxed. A sales agreement between the companies expired. The deal was off. Uncertainty over the transaction has delayed a long-awaited final investment decision on the oil project, which was expected this year. It typically takes 3 years for oil projects to move from FID to first oil. Meanwhile, Total has suspended activity on the 1,445-kilometer pipeline that will carry Ugandan oil to the sea. Total boss in February said that the project's numerous challenges include the many crocodiles in Lake Albert. Business activity in Uganda expanded at the fastest pace in close to 3 years in November on improved demand, according to an IHS market survey. Private sector companies reported a growth in business activity for the 34th straight month, with increases in new orders, output, and employment. The seasonally adjusted headline Stanbic Bank Uganda Purchasing Managers Index (PMI), which is considered a good indicator of the health of the private sector, rose to 58.6 from the October's 56.3. That was well above the 50 mark, separating growth from expansion and the fastest private sector expansion since the survey started in January 2016. Growth in business activity was recorded across the agriculture, construction, industry, services, and wholesale and retail sectors, with only mining reporting lower activity. Some purchasing managers said the rise in output at their companies was due to competitive pricing, while others said it was due to an increase in customer demand. New orders also expanded last month, driven by the improvement in demand. Companies also continue to hire more workers to reduce backlogs of work, with employment rising from the 42nd consecutive month in November. But inflation remains a sticky cost for companies, with input prices rising last month, driven by purchase prices, staff costs, and electricity prices. In response, companies raised the selling prices. Forward-looking indicators in the survey suggest that output growth will continue into 2020.
Thank you so much, Lynn Comjasha. Now we go to Matters Local Sports, and we're going to bring you a story of how Alan OKELLO and Juliet NALUKENGE won the Airtel FUFA Awards for the year 2018-2019. Take a look. KCCA FC forward Alan Okello and Crested Cranes under-17 captain Juliet NALUKENGE scooped Airtel FUFA Awards 2018-2019 during a dazzling event held at the Speak Resort Munyonyo in Kampala. Okello managed to put up an outstanding performance last year when he helped KCCA FC to win the Sekafa Kagame Cup in Rwanda after many years, the 13th StarTimes Uganda Premier League title. He featured on the team that helped Uganda Cranes to qualify for the CHAN as well as the ongoing Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup. Okello bit of competition from KCCA's Mustafa Chiza and Proline's Bright Anukan. Juliet NALUKENGE was the top scorer at the 2019 COSAFA Under-17 Championship in Mauritius with 18 goals, which helped Uganda to emerge as inaugural champions of the tournament, as she was also a top scorer at the Sekafa Women Challenge Cup in Tanzania. NALUKENGE beat off competition from co-players Fauzia Najemba and Hasfa Nasuna. Both players were rewarded 1 million shillings, a trophy, a medal, and a brand new car. Other winners include Pyramids FC and Uganda Cranes winger Abdul Lumara as the fans' favourite foreign-based player of the year, former Proline FC coach Shafiq Bisaso as the male coach of the year 2018-2019 after helping Proline FC to win double, the Uganda Cup and the Big League that saw the club being promoted to the StarTimes Uganda Premier League, as well as coach Ayub Khalifa as Women Football Coach of the Year. The indomitable team of 1978, which lost at AFCON finals in Ghana, won the Best Squad Team Award. Uganda Revenue Authority Football Club took the Fair Play Award. Male Best 6, Joel Mutakubwa, GK. The guest of honor at the event was Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni, Minister of Education and Sports, who was represented by Professor Mondo Kagonyera. Well, this brings us to the end of our newscast tonight. You've been a great audience, and thank you so very much for joining us. Do remember to be part of our audience again tomorrow, 9 p.m. here on Urban TV and online. That is on our Facebook page, The New Vision, and on our website, www.newvision.co.ug. Do follow us on Twitter at New Vision Wire, and my name is Barbara Nyamwiza. We leave you with our fact file. Good night.
Ekitongole kikola ku byokulonda mu ggwanga ekya Electoral Commission kigenda kufulumya ebifo byonna ebigenda okulondebwamu oba biyite polling stations mu kalulu ka 2021. Enkalala zino zigenda kufulumira mu mpapula z'amawulire gaffe omuli New Vision